welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony. In this show, we're going to be talking about, do you need a voiceover website? We're going to dive into the pros and cons of it. Do you need one? When you need one? All right. And how about how to go about getting one? Okay. So do you need a voiceover website? First and foremost, it's important to understand that I look at our voiceover business as a progression. Okay. It's not we start with, everything now and, down the road, everything then happens. Okay. That's not how I look at the voiceover business and the years I've been doing and all the coaching I've done and everybody I've helped. There's a progression to this. All right. From the standpoint of us getting better ourselves to the demos we have to the portfolio we build, there's a progression. So I want you to think of your voiceover website in the same way. There's a progression. All right. When you're first starting out, I personally like to go the route of utilizing platforms, websites that are already built and out there getting voiceover work. All right, meaning that they're marketing already, they're advertising already, they're driving traffic to their websites, and all we have to do is put up our profile. We have to audition, make our demos, put together samples, get our offerings up there, put our pricing together so that we can find work through people who are already searching for it online on these websites. So when you're first starting out, the very first thing you need to do most likely is not build your own voiceover website. Okay? Because you don't even have anything to put on that website yet. You don't even know what to put on that website yet. Most likely you're not even able to really, do much file-wise anyways, right? So you might not even have headshots. You might not. So it's better not to start with a voiceover website. Now, you're going to hear a lot of different things from other people. And I'm not saying that my way is right and someone else's way is wrong. Not at all. This is just one person's opinion about where to start, because just same thing with the VO's Journey Elite Academy, how we've built progression, right? And in our semesters that we teach, we show voice actors how to start, right, somewhere and then progress through the chain so you always know what comes next. It's the same thing with your website. It's very difficult to try to put up a website, one, when you have no idea how to build a website. Two, I want you to think about this as well. If you want to get voiceover work, right, through your website, you have to think about how that's actually going to happen, right? Meaning, like, are people going to randomly stumble upon your website? And when they get on your website, they're just going to know right away how they're supposed to order from you. They're going to trust you. They're going to know exactly what to do, what to expect, and at the same time, at that particular moment, they are in need at that very second for a voiceover, and they've just stumbled upon your website in a perfect world, and they're ready to go, and you're going to contact them within, within a minute or 5, 10, 20 minutes. And you know what I mean? Like, you're going to knock it out and get it to them. You have your invoicing set up. They're going to be able to pay. These is a lot of things that are not, they're just not true. They're just not going to happen. Okay. So what happens with your website, if you think about it, if you want people, when it's time to build your website, all right, you want people to actually buy from you through your website, you have to build a website that actually guides people from A to Z. It's easy for them to purchase from you. They know what they're supposed to do. They know how long it's going to take. They trust you. And it's super easy to communicate with you. That's not simple. It's not. I'm not here to blow sunshine up your backside. That's not easy to do. right? It takes time, and you can't do that with a one-page website, right? You have to build out your website, right? Meaning that, you build trust too through the totality of your website, through the quality on the quantity that you have available for people as resources on your website. A lot of times, most voice actors treat their websites like a glorified portfolio. Okay, like a portfolio business card, meaning like the only goal of our website is just to put a bunch of our stuff up there, all right, and a place for you to contact me. Okay, well, if you think about that, why would anybody want to continue to go back to your website once they've been there once? And you have to imagine that 95% or more of people are not going to be ready to buy when they find you. That's another thing. If they find you, you're not just going to come up in search results, which means that a website has to be used in a couple, either one or two ways. Either you've got to build out your SEO through what I was saying, right, which is quality and quantity on your website with resources and things like that, so people would want to come back to your website for a reason, because that's the only way they're going to find it in Google, or you pay ads to drive traffic there, or you nonstop share your website wherever you can, hoping that the people you share your website with will need to go there at that very moment, which again, 95% or more are not ready to buy immediately upon contact, right? They're just they're not looking at that moment, right at that moment. And if you only have one reason for them to go, and that's to listen to your stuff, they'll never come back. Do you know what I mean? Because why are they going to remember that in the midst of all of the other ones that they have? So these are things to think about. So that's why when you're first starting out, I don't necessarily recommend that you get your website going, because you don't have anything to put on it. We've got to build everything first before we can build you a website. So I always tell people, we always start with getting yourself up on platforms, starting to build your demos, starting to make your profiles, getting that content set up, your thumbnails, your headshots, samples, all of those things put together, start earning some money, start auditioning, putting together a portfolio, so then we have the ability to the next progression, the next step after those, all right, websites and getting work is to build out your website. All right, so I typically like to start working on a website after I've got steady work coming in from the online platforms, or I call them online agents. So it's really what they are. They're agents. They're just online agents now. Sorry, I'm still stuffed up from being sick last week. But so that's how I look at the progression of building your website. And once you've built that website, then we go into building our direct response marketing campaign, right? So that's the phase 3 of this progression, right? Because we have 5 different phases of the progression of your business marketing. So these are some things that, I recommend that you focus on getting yourself earning and making money before you start putting together a website. Now, where do you go to put together a website? Well, this is a lot of things. There's a lot of, some people like, well, I don't have the time to put together my website, or I don't know how to, so I'm going to pay somebody. You certainly can pay people to do your website. You can also use website builders like Wix and things like this to learn how, that are very simple to put together your website. But that's a whole nother thing. You've got to learn to build your website and what kind of content. And the crazy thing about that is when you put your website together, remember, it can be whatever you want, of course, because it's your business, but it in my opinion, it needs to be more than that glorified portfolio, which means we need to have a niche. We need to start to narrow our focus down. So that's why it's something that comes later, not up front. And it's something that we can work on over time. That doesn't mean you don't start working on it, like thinking about your name of your website, things like this, but it's not the priority up front. All right, and I think that's, if I can get that through, it should not be the priority when you're starting. It should be something that you're building slowly down the road. Do you understand? Once you have work coming in, once you've built a pipeline of work through these websites, you have a portfolio, you know what you're doing, right? You could deliver projects. You understand communication. You have a way of invoicing people and accepting payments and so forth. You set all this stuff up. Then we can start taking the website more seriously. All right, guys, I hope that this has helped. And again, this is just my humble opinion. That doesn't mean that you have to do it this way. You can do whatever you want. It's your business. What I love about being a business owner is that we can take whatever path we want. But that's just my humble opinions. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Also, check out Avio's Journey Elite Academy. This is what we do. We teach the progression. We show you how. All right, and you have the support on how to do this, because no one really shows you this stuff out there in a progression. I've learned that, and that's why I created the academy, right, to be more like a school in that manner, so that you actually are taught that progression and know what's coming next. So thank you guys so much for watching. You have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.